Well, good day, 7th grade friends and neighbors. We are going to make this little paddle ball game. This ball bounces around, but you don't want to let it touch that red line. And if it hits the paddle, of course, it bounces off. Now let's let it hit. Watch. Aw, game over. I know, we're going to make this game. It's going to be great. It says use the left and right arrows to move the paddle. Don't let the ball touch the red line. All right, let's get creating. Here we go. Well, to create this paddleball game, you certainly do not need a cat. We got to get rid of this cat, and so there's a X on the garbage can, and we're going to throw this cat sprite. This is called a sprite, by the way. Any object that is on the stage is called a sprite. And I'm going to delete this sprite. I don't need it. So I'm going to start out down here where this cat face is, and it says choose a sprite. I'm going to choose that. Let's start out with the red line at the bottom. I'm going to scroll on down and find the line. L-I-N-E. It's down here someplace. Oh, there it is. Here's mine. I'm going to choose line. And I'm going to put this line right down at the bottom. I'm going to put it right about here someplace. That looks like a pretty good spot. Doesn't have to be perfect, but about like that. Now I'm going to tell this red line what to do. When somebody hits the green flag, then I want this red line to just stay right there and don't do anything. So I'm going to go to an event. I'm going to say when somebody clicks the green flag, let me make that a little bigger so you can see it better. When somebody clicks the green flag, the first thing I want you to do is go where I just put you. And look, he's at -2 and -174. It tells you where stuff is. And he says, yes, I already know this thing is at -2 and -174. Now, your numbers might be a little bit different, and that's perfectly okay, as long as it's along the bottom someplace. So that was my first thing. I got a little sprite. A sprite is any object that's on the stage, and this is a red line. Let's go get the paddle. I'm going to go get a paddle. It says choose a sprite. Not this one over here. It's not a backdrop. Look out. I'm doing this one over here, the cat. So I'm going to go get a paddle. I want a paddle. It's going to be a little green paddle in there that I can use. Let's see if I can find it quick. Oh, I found it pretty quick. There it is, paddle. It says, now where do you want this paddle? I want this paddle to be sort of close. Not way up here, but sort of close, you know, like right around here someplace. This looks like a pretty good place, or right about there. What do you want this paddle to do? Well, the first thing I want you to do is wait till somebody hits the green flag. When somebody hits the green flag, I want the paddle to go exactly where I just told you to go. And mine happened to end up at -21 and -142, but yours could be totally different numbers. But that's okay. I'm going over to motion, and I'm going to say the first thing I want this thing to do is go to -21 and -142. See, he already knows where you are. So I'm just going to snap that in there. Now, I'm going to wait till somebody presses the right arrow key on the keyboard. When they press the right arrow key on the keyboard, I want the paddle to move to the right. And when somebody presses the left arrow on the keyboard, I want the paddle to move to the left. Just as simple as that. Now, when is somebody going to press the right arrow on the keyboard? I don't know. When are they going to press the left arrow on the keyboard? I don't know. I just have to have the computer watch all the time. Just keep watching all the time. If somebody ever presses that red arrow, then I want you to start moving to the right. Okay, here's what you do. You go over to control, you get yourself a forever because you don't know when it's going to happen. Now, if somebody taps the right arrow, if somebody presses the right arrow key, I want you to move to the right. All right, let's slap that in there. I'll make it a little smaller. If somebody presses a key, if you press a key, that is pressing it with your finger, that is sensing. You know, I went to first grade. I went to first grade and I learned the 5 senses, and one of them is touching. So I'm going to say if you're pressing a key, if a key is pressed, but what key? The right arrow key. If somebody presses the right arrow key, then I want this paddle to move. I'm going to put it in there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I got it right in there. It starts glowing when it's in the right place. If somebody presses the right arrow key, I want this paddle to move to the right. So I'm going to go to motion. Now, right and left is X. I know X goes right and left. I don't want this paddle moving up and down. No, he's not going to move up and down. He's not going to change the Y. He's only going to change the X back and forth. So I'm going to say change the X. Now, it's not set the X. I want to change the X. It's not, no. Set the X? No. Throw that back in the bin. Change the X by 10. If somebody presses the right arrow, change the X by 10. What if they press the left arrow? Well, let's go get another if. So go get myself another if, and I'm going to put it underneath, not in. No. I want the ifs to line up perfectly straight. That's a bad place. Perfectly straight, these ifs are lined up. If a key is pressed, if the left arrow key is pressed. So I'm going to go over there. I'm going to say if a key is pressed, but not the space bar key. If somebody presses the left arrow key, then I want it to change the x by -10. I'm going to change the x, not set the x. Careful, you got to be careful. A lot of beginners make that mistake. I don't want to change the x by 10 when you're going to the left. When you're going to the left, it's going to be -10. Let's see if this thing works. I'm going to hit the green flag. The paddle should go to -21, -42. If I press the right arrow, it should move to the right. If I press the left arrow, it should move to the left. Let's see if it happens. Here we go. I'm going to click it. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, it's not doing anything. I'm going to press the right arrow. Oh my gosh, it's moving to the right. I'm going to press the left arrow key on the keyboard. Oh my goodness, it's moving to the left. My paddle can move to the right. My paddle can move to the left. Okay, that's the first part of this game. I want you to get a red line down there, and I want you to get a paddle that can move left and right, and then come back here, and we'll continue this lesson.